This is the unboxing of the Pixel 7 Non-Pro. This is the Pixel 7. I'm going to show a little bit of an overhead shot in a second. But we decided to get the Pixel 7 Non-Pro because the Pro, really the big difference is the camera. And at the current time, I don't really use the camera very often on my phone. I use all the rest of the phone features. It also is going over their case that they also offer, which is for like 20 bucks, I think, or something like that online. And let's take a look at the Pixel 7. So let's go over the overhead. So basically, this is the Pixel 7. Comes in a relatively plain box, nothing really fancy. Little pull handles. Just take those off. You can use a knife, I guess, if you want. Probably should have used a knife. Very plain white box. I think pretty much everybody has the same packaging nowadays. It's kind of minimal. It's kind of simple. Pull it out. Obviously, the phone's right on top. This is the lemongrass color. So if you were curious about what color this is, it is lemongrass. It does come with a USB-C cable. Note, I don't think I see a charging brick. So just a regular USB-C to A adapter, which you would just plug in, I guess, straight into the phone. Yeah, okay. So that's nice to have, just to have that. A little manual. Well, let's see. Anything really important? Okay, that's the SIM card tray, little SIM card thing to take the SIM card out of the phone. They all come with that, I think, pretty much at this point. Safety and warning guide. I think we know how to use a phone. We're good. Okay. Next, anything else under here? Nope, nothing. That is it. That's the box. Nothing else in here except for the phone itself and the Pixel box. So let's just take a look. Okay, so it has a protective cover. It tells you that there's USB-C at the bottom. And it also has a fingerprint reader. I'm gonna guess that's where the SIM's, yeah, it's a SIM tray on this side, volume rockers, power button. That's it. It's a very simple design. Nothing really fancy, and obviously the camera bump on the back. So it's got a little bump. Let's see how it stays. Oh, that's not bad. It stays pretty nice. Stays flat on the table. Let's see if it rocks. No, it only rocks this direction. So, not bad. Google logo. I assume that logo probably does something. Maybe it's where the NFC is. So I'll just pull this off. And it's a very nice looking phone. USB-C on the bottom, obviously down firing speakers. Your SIM tray is on this side. And power button. Let's try powering it up. Even without a SIM card. Ooh, very bright. I don't know if you can even see that. There we go. Let's kind of see it. I put it flat. This should have the newest version of the operating system as well. First time boot up. I'm going to have to transfer my SIM over, so it's going to take a few weeks for me for testing. But this is the initial unboxing. I'm just going to, obviously there's a little camera notch there, which is for the camera in the middle. That's not too big. Okay, I'm just gonna shut down my old phone and I'm gonna take the SIM card out. So shut it down. Take it out of its case. Wow, my phone is really dirty. How gross. But it has been used. So I'm gonna put this over there for a sec. Let me find my current SIM card. Wherever, oh, it's at the top of this one. So I'll take the little thingy out. Little SIM card remover. Pop it. Of course, it's very, very small. Let's get this one out. Yeah, even had an icon and I'm still not sure where it was. Pop that. Looks like I'm going to assume it only goes one way. I assume it's going to go up. So let's go with up. Oof. My SIM card is all really dirty. Hopefully that will work. Yeah, that fits. For once, something fits. There we go. Yeah. I still screwed it up. Not once, try again. There we go. Ah. Okay. It's all the way in. Let's just do another power up. Let's see if it picks it up. By the way, always keep these little metal SIM card popping tool, whatever you want to call it. You never know when you need to change it. Just gonna pop in, connected, getting your phone ready. It may take several minutes. Of course. Let's find a better way to put this. Is that better? Yeah, you can kind of see it better. Just a few minutes. Copy apps data, choose what apps you want to choose. Okay, sure. Next. Use your old device. You need your old Android phone. Choose what to copy. Apps, photos, music, SMS, MMS. You know what? Why not? Copy everything. Thrill me. Oh, the dreaded permissions. No. 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 Okay. It's asking me if I want to use 100 gigabytes of Google account storage to back up all my stuff. Yeah, that's okay. Turn on. Limited warranty, United States. Yay. Next. Additional legal terms. Let's set up the fingerprint. Sure. Sure. Okay. Now this is where I'm going to have to pick up the phone to do the fingerprint, but we'll hit next and start. And we'll just set up touch and hold. Okay, so it wants my voice for hands-free operation. Yeah, I don't know about this one. We'll skip this for now. No, that's all right. Tips and tricks on your inbox? No. Yeah, enough junk mail. Apps, photos, videos, SMS, fine. Done. Hopefully it brings over my Google Authenticator stuff. We'll find out in 2 seconds and see if this was easy. Now this wasn't so bad because they were both USB-C, but if you're not using USB-C, you can also use Wi-Fi to transfer as well. So swipe to navigate. All right, we know how to swipe to navigate, I think. System navigation settings, yes. I want my 3. See, this is where I don't want stuff like this. I would rather have the 3-button notification instead. So I would like the 3-button navigation at the bottom. I like this because it's just easy to use. Gesture navigation is not bad. It's just rather annoying to work with sometimes. So I like to have my little home buttons and stuff like that. Oh, it even got my home screen. I don't know if it transferred everything. Yeah, that's okay. I don't really have any sensitive information on my lock screen. Prepare for an emergency, no. Add another email account, no. Change how text displays, no. Set up always on display. No. That's annoying. New for you, explore the newest, latest features, camera, amazing pictures, blah, blah, blah. I don't think we really need all these tips. I think we could just wing it, see how it goes. Now, if you look at my old phone has the camera in the upper left corner. This one has the camera in the middle of the phone. I never really liked it in this corner. Whenever I use the camera, you know, even if I did like a video chat or something like that, this got a little annoying. So actually having it in the middle might be better. I'm not sure, so we're gonna see how it goes. It didn't set up my home screen apps. And why is this jiggling? Ugh. No. Why is this a thing? I hate this. That left thing. I didn't do my icon. I don't understand why it's doing this. That's new. I don't really want this. Preferences. While that's completing setup and it's taking its sweet time, I'm going to ravel up my USB-C cable. I'm going to also open up the case. Of course, you always should get a case for your phone. Don't leave your phone unprotected like that. I drop my phone all the time, so that's why I need a case that I can rely on. This is like really, that's really sturdy. Okay. Nothing else in there really, just the case. It's a little warm to the touch on the back, but it was only during the loading, which is weird. Wow. So this stupid bar and this thing over here is always here. That's a little disturbing. I can't shut this off. I'm going to do some more research on this. Obviously, I'm going to be playing around with this for a daily driver for at least 2 weeks to see what's going on. And then I'll give my review of if this is worth switching to and staying on, or if this is something that probably you should pass on. So we'll find out in the upcoming weeks. See you then. After using the Google Pixel for more than 2 weeks, I have found out that there's a lot of great things about this phone that I just need to share. And there's a few little, I wouldn't say negative points, but they're just little bit of problems that I just basically found with the phone. Also, that I just didn't find certain little features that I would like to see maybe in the new future updates. The hardware on the phone, just to lay it out there, is a lot better than it was before. The more RAM, the more, you know, the higher pixel rate for the camera and all that stuff is excellent. So, you know, if you're just buying this just for the camera alone, it's pretty good. The hardware is very decent. I'm going to focus a little more on the software and my experiences with the software, because I found that the Android operating system, the version 13, is just a lot more improved compared to the older versions. And with all these new little features, they do save me a lot of time. So let's get into it. The Android Auto, I want to start with that because I use that a lot. And by a lot, I mean a lot, like as if I literally drive around constantly. So with Android Auto, it's very much improved on version 13. The Google Assistant has been drastically improved, where like now at least it's picking up all of my sentences correctly. It is also interpreting my information towards text a lot better. I don't have to keep repeating a lot of things to make it work. It is just a lot more spot on. Now, I'm not sure if that's Android Auto that's doing that, or the new Android operating system, which is version 13. But in either case, it still just works better. They work great together. Also, I've noticed that I have Cricket for service, which kind of sucks. I mean, it's pretty bad. So, but actually with this phone, With, you know, the Pixel 7, it actually does work better. Now, it's actually getting 5G where my other Motorola phone did not get 5G when I was actually using it. So I did use this as a daily driver for over 2 weeks. I kind of went a little longer because I had a few things in my way, but you know, it does work a lot better. The reception is a lot better. The internet speed is a lot better. Now, I'm not saying this phone is going to replace a wired connection internet. That's not what this is for. It is literally just better wireless internet at that time. Wireless internet, I mean cellular service, was a lot better. The speed was, I can't say it was better all the time. It was just better the majority of the time. Some areas like basements still don't really work too well out here on Long Island, but then again, you know, Cricket service is kind of like AT&T service. It's like a backbone of that. So it's a little bit tricky in certain spots, in basements especially, or really high up. We have some issues also. So, but if you're on a regular ground and you're regularly driving around, there are some like little, I call blackout spots on the Southern Parkway and stuff. So, but I think that's almost everybody's service. So I'm not really too concerned. And it's, again, that's a service thing. It has nothing to really do with the phone. I just noticed that the service with this phone happens to work a little better. So if you have Cricket or AT&T and you want to use an unlocked phone, this is the best way to go. A lot of other features that I liked was the Wi-Fi calling. The Wi-Fi calling really didn't work on my other phone. It works sometimes, and then sometimes it just was horrible. On the Pixel 7, this is an amazing product when it comes to the Wi-Fi calling. They must have fixed a lot of the software, and now it's just seamless, where basically if you go onto the internet, onto a Wi-Fi, and then maybe like leave your building and it goes back to cellular, it switches back and forth relatively easily by itself. I think the only time I've ever had it actually go a little weird is when it goes into low battery mode, and then it doesn't seem to pick up the power signal properly until it's recharged again. So maybe that's just because it's wanting to consume less power. I also turn the low battery mode off after a while because it gets a little annoying, because I like to run my battery kind of low before I have to recharge it. The call quality is excellent. It's much better than it used to be. I'm actually able to hear a lot more people, a lot more clearer. Including with the Wi-Fi calling as well as off of Wi-Fi calling and on 5G network, it's not so bad. But the Wi-Fi calling, just receiving in and out of calls, text messages, everything seems to be a lot more smoother that way. I make a lot of phone calls. Maybe not everybody else makes a lot of phone calls, so this may not affect you, but it also does affect text messaging speeds as well as other little things like internet speeds. Overlaps into kind of your internet speeds where it comes to like actually downloading something or using apps. The apps are a little bit more smoother when you have a little more, bandwidth available to it. Okay, one of the best features, and I'm gonna say it's probably the only feature that I really, 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 really like, is that it is the do not disturb call screening. And I'm reading on it off the paper because it's kind of important. I took a lot of notes on this, and basically I thought that was the best feature of this phone by far. I don't know about you, but I get about 8 to 10 spam calls a day on my cell phone. That's ridiculous, but I do get them. They're very distracting, they're very annoying, and this feature has saved me a whole bunch of hassle. It now picks up the phone, automatically says, if it's not in my contacts, if I have it on Do Not Disturb and I have it on call screening enabled, it will automatically pick up the phone call if it's not in my contacts and automatically say, you're calling a Google phone, blah, blah, blah. Do you, please state your business, kind of thing. And it basically puts back a transcription of exactly what they say. I found that this eliminates almost all spam calls at that point. All stir and shaking calls do come through, as well as anything from contacts do come through. So if you have a business that's calling you, it will definitely pop up. If you have a regular just person calling you from your contacts, it'll also pop up. So this is great because every other call, is literally just eliminated. And I've not had so many more free moments in my entire 2 weeks than I've ever had this thing, that I can literally just gain back because of the phone handling this type of situation. It eliminates a lot of problems. It'll also eliminate phishing calls and all these other junk calls that come in that really should never have been pushed through. I've also done some photos with this. I'm gonna take some more photos close up and with some better lighting. I've noticed that with camera phones, lighting is really like 90% of the problem. So if you have really good lighting, it's not so bad. This phone also does take great low light, but it's not, you know, it's not the most amazing camera, because obviously you're talking about a really small lens, but the amount of extra work that the Android operating system is doing on top of that to try to enhance the image is really what pushes this past its normal just hardware specs, because the software is kind of making up for it. I wouldn't say this replaces like your big camera. This is just going to replace, you know, it'll replace your regular in the moment photo. Can you do really good video recording? Yeah, sure, but you can do really good video recording with good lights and a good camera anyway. But this will replace that if you want to use this in place of, you know, just need to get a video out there or need to take a photo in the moment. This is perfectly good for that. I would say it's in line with the iPhone. There are a lot of advanced options like the iPhone has, but it also has a lot of built-in just, what's the word I'm looking for? Snap and go. You know, just take a picture, click it and go. You know, you don't have to change many settings to make it really work and get a decent photo out of it. The shakiness out of the photos, I had a lot of shaky photos with my Motorola. I have a shaky hand. I just, you know, because the phone's very small, I have very big hands. It's a problem. But, you know, with this, it takes the shake out of it. You're really basically, I don't know if this has a shaking lens on it, but whatever, the software also takes a lot of the blur out of the photo and makes it a little bit more crisp and clean. Some video, but I haven't really taken a lot of video because I don't really use my camera on my phone for videos and selfies and stuff. The selfie portion, I took 1 or 2 selfies. They look fine. I mean, you know, you're really close to the subject that you're taking a photo with the back part of the lens, so it's not so bad. Video on the back part of the lens is okay, it's decent, but the video on the, you know, the front side of the phone, like this side, you know, you're definitely going to have better quality on this side than you're going to have on the actual phone side. The fingerprint reader, the setup got better. I'm going to say that. The setup got better, but the actual fingerprint reader itself, I kind of like the one on the Motorola better in some aspects, and I kind of like the one on the Pixel better in some aspects. The reason why I like the fingerprint reader on the Pixel a little bit better is because it'll actually read like the side part of your thumb, and you can actually roll your thumb onto the glass and it'll actually work. So that is a little nicer, but the other one on my Motorola I thought was a little quicker, but I could be wrong. I didn't take a timer or anything like that. I didn't make it very scientific here. I just felt like it was a little faster to unlock. But after I got used to it with being able to actually roll my finger or using my finger from the proper side, it'll actually make it a little easier to unlock. So I feel like the Pixel 7 was easier to unlock, but not faster, if that makes sense. Face ID, which they added, I didn't test this feature. I don't trust it. I think that Face ID is a little bit sketch on the aspect of how it unlocks and how it could be tricked. So I may make a whole nother video about Face ID because I really want to compare the one between Apple and Pixel to see really what the difference is and to see if it could be tricked, because the first few versions of this was really kind of crappy and they were able to trick it pretty easily. I'm not sure how this would go on Android. I know that was the problem with Apple, and that's the reason why I was not really recommending it. Plus I want to test eyes open versus eyes closed. I also want to test a few more things like, you know, glasses and stuff with or without, but that's coming in a later video. Font adjustment, oh, do I like this. I like very small fonts. Not a lot of people like small fonts, but I like very small, crisp, and clean fonts. And this phone does that really well. So when you bring the font level down, now you can go the opposite way too. You can bring the font all the way up. I like the font pretty much in a very small size so I can fit more on the screen. I can read quicker a smaller font than I can read a larger font. It's just a weird thing. Not everybody's like that, but I like very crisp, small fonts, and it does do that really well. So if you want larger fonts, go for it. This thing does do, I was playing around with it, you can go to like crazy sizes on those fonts. So a feature that was missing from this phone that I really kind of liked from my Motorola phone was the gestures. They were a little different. They have gestures on here. They have, you know, button presses and clicks and all that stuff. The one I'm really missing is the twist of the phone and the shake of the phone. So I used to be able to shake this like this, and I used to have the light come on for the phone for my Motorola. But this doesn't do that. So the only option I've got is to basically push the power button, and then I gotta like double tap and the light comes on. Now, that's not so bad. It's not a deal breaker. It's just something I got used to, and then I kind of missed it because it was very easy to work with. Is it gonna be like, oh my God, I need that feature today and I'm never gonna have my phone around for it? No, it's just another double tap. It's not that difficult. I do miss being able to rotate the phone and then have the camera come on, but instead they have a double press on the power button, and that allows you to automatically start the camera app. You can also customize the button on the back. I have it for flashlight because I use a flashlight very often. But you know, if you want, you can set it to a lot of different things. You can set it to the Google Assistant. You can set it to a whole bunch of stuff. Let's talk about battery life, because I think that's kind of important. The battery life on this phone, first of all, before I tell you about the battery life, actually, let me tell you about how I use my phone. I usually use my phone for phone calls, text messages, some apps, some app usage, and I'm talking about very minimal app usage. I'm not really into a lot of apps. I use the basic ones to get through my daily life, but I don't use social media on my phone. And I don't have social media on my phone for a few good reasons, but one of the good reasons is battery life. Social media apps do consume a lot of battery life because they're constantly checking for notifications. They are constantly updating in the background. They're also constantly tracking you and doing a lot of other stuff that you really probably don't want it to do. Plus, it's a distraction in my opinion. So that's my personal feeling. If you use social media apps, the battery life is going to vary a lot for you. I get about 2 days worth of battery out of this phone with regular conversations and regular amount of text messaging and notifications. I can sometimes get it 3 days if I'm not really doing much. So yeah, it's not a bad battery. I mean, it charges up really quickly too. I mean, if you're on a regular fast charger, I think I had something charged up in like 20 minutes. Really concerned with battery life, it shouldn't be a concern here unless you have a lot of apps. And if you have a lot of apps, maybe you might want to go for the Pro Edition, because the Pro Edition does have a little bit bigger battery. I am not running the Pro Edition, I'm running the regular edition. You may want to vary that if you really want to have, if you do a lot of, you know, extra stuff like that. I use a lot of Google Assistant, I use a lot of music playing, I use a lot of messaging, texting, phone calls. Music is a lot on here because I run my music, you know, I run Google Music and as well as Amazon Music sometimes. It sounds great and it's wonderful that my battery doesn't drain it, but I don't have any social media apps to compare it for, and I know that someone else is going to load a social media app and be like, oh, I only got 1 day of battery out of it. Why is Brian telling me you can get 2 to 3? That's probably wise because of social media. And by social media apps, I mean like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, you know, whatever you have. I do have I do have YouTube on there. I don't consider that really social media, but some people do. Okay, we're back down to price. Price is very important to a lot of people, and it is definitely important to me. The Pixel 7, as of recording, and right now, this is $499 on sale, I think. The Pixel 7 Pro is $749. So at $499, this is not a bad phone. I think it's great. It's got enough of whatever I need it for. If you need a longer battery life, if you need a better camera, if you need a little bit bigger screen, you'll want to go with the Pro. This screen I think is excellent. This fits in a pocket with no problem. The Pro is a little bit bigger, you know, side to side, a little taller. So you're gonna get a little more screen real estate out of it. The screen on the Pixel Pro 7 Pro also comes with a little bit higher definition screen. So if you really want to see something, you know, if you want to see more of a, if you use your phone in like a lot of low light situations, you might want to go Pro, just because it's going to have a little bit better, you know, brightness control. As long as you just use your phone for a regular phone, but like text messaging and all the regular stuff, Pixel 7, the regular one, is probably fine. If you need to use a phone for more than 1 or 2 days and you have social media, you may want to go with 7 Pro, just because the battery life is better. You may also want to make sure that you have a decent charger, because the charger that comes with this, there is none, it's just a cable. They just give you a cable, they don't give you the actual brick, so you're going to need the brick to charge your phone. You can get a brick almost anywhere, or you can use one that you already have currently. If you need a brick, you can I'd recommend going with like an Anchor or something like that. You know, an Anchor is pretty nice, they charge pretty fast. Or you could go with something, you know, non-name brand if you don't want to. Yeah, that's about it for the Pixel 7 Pro. Please leave comments below. Please leave messages if you guys have purchased this and you didn't like this phone, or if you did like the phone. Either way, please let me know in the comments, because I really do read them. I really do value your comments. I really do want to know what your opinion is. If you're an iPhone user switching over to a Pixel and you've actually switched over, please let me know your experience. How was it between going from one phone to another? Was it really difficult, or was it easy for you? If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We are also on Instagram and Twitter and all the other social media platforms, pretty much except for TikTok. So feel free to, you know, leave us a message on there as well if you want, or subscribe there as well to get some notifications. And we'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.